Doing this, by building all of this equipment and constructing it in the way we have with all kinds of special wire and circuitry and so forth, we feel that we can do a lot of manipulation to the signal to kind of to bring it maybe more competitive with other product that's out on the market, but still retain a lot of the dynamics and the quality that was on the original recording. Because a lot of the complaints nowadays with a lot of mastering is that a lot of the music is destroyed in mastering just to get it competitive and what they feel is competitive, which is loud.
Because everything's brought up to the peak now with the digital compressors. And
that's right, yeah. People just don't realize that there's a byproduct there of a quality loss and dynamic loss, and these are some of the important elements of music. So what we're trying to do, the trick is that we're trying to retain that same sense of dynamics and quality, but have it competitive with everyone else. Now, it's not perfect, but we feel we're close.
So are you, when you say that, you're probably bringing your recordings right under where it needs to be without destroying the signal, or?
That's right. Yeah, without degrading the signal a great deal, and without you losing that sense of dynamics.
Well, and that's why it seems to make sense that so much of the equipment here is analog, because analog allows you to push it a little bit harder than digital, because so much digital equipment has automatic limiting on it, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, it's got it's like a hard limit. Yeah, it just clips if you get too hot. Whereas a lot of analog equipment, it just kind of is a softer kind of overload, if you want to call it that. Well, see, also, when it comes right down to it, when you really think about it, digital. And in my seminars, I say the same thing. My rule of thumb is that they're both the same as far as losing quality. Whenever you start putting in equipment, putting in something in the circuit, in the computer, you put a plug-in in, you're going to degrade the signal. You're going to lose quality. So from that standpoint, they're similar. However, digital has one big drawback, and a lot of people don't really realize this. And they've been also under the misconception that you can, once you're in the digital domain, you can do all kinds of things to the signal and you won't degrade it. And that's entirely wrong. In fact, digital is actually more susceptible to that than analog in a lot of ways. Because in digital, as soon as you modify that signal, as soon as you change it in any way, you're going to lose quality. Even if you change the level 1/10 of a dB, the quality starts to go downhill. I'm not saying that, you shouldn't do that. Because remember now, we're here to serve the music. So if the music needs certain manipulation to make it a good musical experience, even though you have to sacrifice a little quality, it should be done. It's not only quality. I mean, we are trying to make a good musical experience for the public. So I think the main thing people have to ask themselves: am I going to gain more than I'm losing here? I know I'm going to lose a little quality, but what I'm doing to this signal seems to really make this music come alive. It seems to make it communicate better, and so on and so forth. So you still have to have your head in the right place. You have to be serving the music. You have to be doing something that's going to make that music a bigger, better, more complete experience for the listener.
All right. Well, again, Bernie, what else? I mean, what are some of the other features? Obviously, you have the custom console here. I know you have the Pro Tools system in the other room. Well, what else are you running?
Yeah, the Pro Tools is really like a playback machine for us. We use it, to play back, in a sense, anything that comes into the studio. Okay. And Pro Tools is the standard in the industry pretty much, or Pro Tools type systems. So if people bring us in a hard drive or a CD-ROM or something like that, we put it on our Pro Tools. That is not our main computer. That's not our mastering computer. Okay. In fact, well, a lot of the processing is done analog, as we said earlier. And our mastering computer is called AudioCube, which is a German computer. It's based on the WaveLab platform, but it's streamlined for mastering. And all of its processing is done with 64-bit floating point, which is twice the resolution of processing of Pro Tools, which is 32. and it's also has a number of features that really lend itself to mastering and being able to do a better job in mastering. So that's why we have that computer, and it sounds better. I mean, we just know it sounds better. Again,
Well,
it all comes down to this. I mean, some computers are easier, some are harder to use, some are more user friendly. Whatever, you know. That, of course, if you chose on that with that criteria in mind, what about the sound quality? Because you know, when somebody's out there and they have your CD, they might say, "Well, this doesn't sound quite as good as it could." Well, yeah, but that computer was really easy to use. You know, yeah. Well, that doesn't make any sense out there. It's what the end product is.